let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
TNA. Pros and cons of TNA. Before Hogan and Bischoff.
We stress that.
Before. Not after. Not when they got there. But we're going to do one while it was there. But this one be before Bischoff and Hogan. So when Jeff Jarrett and his dad decided to make the company of TNA, and they started hosting their weekly pay-per-views, that's what we're talking about. From there all the way up to around time Bischoff and Hogan got there.
But 2009, 2010.
2009, 2010. Yeah, I think it was around that time. But, all right, pros and cons. My pro, I have a pro. My pro was, it was a refreshing product. And what do I mean when I say refreshing product? WWE had bought out WCW in 2001. And for the most part, those next 2 years wasn't too bad. The next year wasn't too bad. You still had the invasion angle. You still had people coming over like Scott Steiner, Ric Flair, Goldberg. So you still had some sense of, you know, which WCW star gonna come over next, you know. So you still had that, but fans were still missing the rivalry of, ooh, WWE's on. I wonder what's on WCW. You know, we were still missing the competition part. Yeah. Even though I don't think WWE was bad in 01, 02. I really don't. I thought it was still pretty good, even though the invasion angle was botched. But that's just me. But when I seen TNA, number one, TNA came to our hometown. Their first show was in Huntsville, Alabama, at the Von Braun Center, as it was called back then. So it was here. I didn't go to that show, but I seen the show, and the show wasn't bad, you know. But as I started looking at it, as it got on like Fox Sports, and then it got on Spike, I just thought the product was so refreshing. It was a new look. It was, yes, I know it was like in a studio, but still, it was still good to see another company, you know, that I can look to and look at, and it was just a good, refreshing product to me at the time. So my first pro was TNA was refreshing product. Okay. You know, other than looking at WWE every week, it was refreshing to see that. What are your con? You have a con for me, sir?
Okay. My con was, and I can kind of piggyback off what you did. In the early days, they were kind of hard to access in certain cases, especially if you were a fan on a budget. Yeah. Now, if you was used to watching WCW and WWF at the time every week, then you pretty much knew that you were going to have at least 2 to 4 hours or more of free wrestling, and you only really had to worry about pay-per-views once a month when you had to pay for something. With TNA, when they first came out, their model was, okay, we're going to make you pay to watch the show, the regular show, and pay for the pay-per-views. And it's like, unless you were a diehard fan of this product, you weren't doing that. You weren't doing that at all. Now, you know, there's always ways behind the paywall and all that, but you weren't really doing that. So it was kind of like a hard access, especially for younger fans whose parents weren't about to fork over money every week for you to watch a show, when you could watch another show perfectly for the free. And then, you know, as they continue to move on, it's like, okay, y'all known for this, then y'all bounce to Fox Sports, then y'all bouncing to Spike TV, then y'all bouncing to TNN. It's like they would get to a channel and make the channel kind of a part of the brand. Like I remember before they went down, actually no, they didn't get on TNN. I'm sorry. I'm getting them mixed up with ECW. I'm getting them mixed up with ECW. They went to Fox Sports, and like on Fox Sports, they kind of sort of integrated their brand with Fox Sports, and then they took it to TNN. They did take it to TNN and Spike.
Yeah, because TNN became Spike.
Yeah, they took it to TNN, and it's like every time they went to a different network, they tried to change the vibe. Whether it was changing the ring, whether it was changing the way the GM handled business, the way it was changing the way, they presented the talent. And in the midst of all this, it's like not only were they not as accessible, they didn't have a true identity, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
That stayed where it needed to be. So like a fan who's looking to access, and then think about the people who didn't have Fox Sports Net. So you got not being able to buy the pay-per-view, not having Fox Sports Net, and then some cable companies didn't even have TNA and Spike.
Yeah.
USA is Universal. Pretty much all the carriers have that. TNT was Universal. Pretty much all cable networks had that in TBS. So, that I believe that hurt viewership a lot. But for us diehard fans, we found a way.
Sure did.
So that's my con. They weren't as accessible as they should be.
All right, what's your pro?
All right, so a pro in the early days of the TNA.
Yes.
All of y'all who know me know I'm a huge fan of Ron, The Truth, Killings.
Yeah.
He had just come off a run as K-Quick in the WWF.
Yeah.
Now, y'all know K-Quick debuted with the Road Dogg during the Attitude Era.
Exactly.
He been around a long time.
Attitude there.
Like, he had on FUBU. Let that sink in. FUBU and a niece. Like, he had all that with the shiny jeans with the cuffs at the bottom.
Yeah.
But R-Truth, he left WWE as K-Quick and went to TNA as R-Truth and pretty much redefined that character and was taken more seriously and went to the top of the main event. The top, became the champion.
Yeah.
And that's the version that we wish to happen today. But it hadn't happened yet. But that's my pro, is they took somebody like him that was pretty much locked into a mid to low card character and brought him to the top and pretty much showed when you do talent right, let them be themselves. Because I'm sure a lot of that was him. Let them be themselves. Create a star.
All right. My con is they rely too much on legends in the beginning. And kind of throughout the middle, too. And then you'll see in the Hogan Bischoff era a lot more. But in the beginning, and I get it, and I get what happened in the beginning. Jeff Jarrett runs it, and he bought everybody over pretty much from WCW. Scott Hall, Piper, China was there. Did I say Scott Hall? Yeah, Scott Hall, the Piper. Everybody was there. All the legends was there. I'm forgetting some people. I want to say even Macho Man made some appearances, if I'm not mistaken.
Macho Man.
Did Macho Man make an appearance in TNA?
Yeah, he made one.
That's what I thought. But they relied a lot on the legends. And like I said, I get it because it was Jeff Jarrett promotion. He just brought all the people from WCW or people who just got fired or let go from WWE over there. So I get it. I understand it. But I just think, and then going into after when they first started, going into the middle, I still think they relied too much on legends. Even with Kurt Angle came over, it was pretty dope. But I just think they relied a little bit too much on the legend, and they got like a bad rap because of that too. Like, oh, I wonder what it was like a joke back then. If you got released from WWE, you going to the TNA, so they gonna scoop you up.
Mm-hmm. Ain't gonna change your name.
And they gonna change your name. So while you still have people over there like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and people of that stature, you still had the the older people there. Scott Hall, then Kevin Nash would later come over there. X-Pac would later come over there, and Kevin Nash had that that beat. Like Forgot About Dre.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was next episode. Anyway, Oh,
They made that on Fruity Loops. Who made them peace, boy?
Oh man.
Woo!
But yeah, I think they relied a little bit too much on like legends and old stars back in those days. And then I have a pro. My pro was the young unknown stars. Younger unknown stars. Now, when I say unknown, I'm not talking about like some of you, okay, like AJ Styles, for example. He was wrestling in 2001 in WCW. I mean, but that was like for like 3 months, 3 or 4 months. Yeah. So you didn't really know who AJ Styles were. But
that tag team Air Raid, I think it was.
Yeah, but like you really didn't know who AJ Styles was, right? So now you have this new product, this new refreshing product, as I said earlier, and now you have these young unknown stars, the Christopher Daniels. Like I said, he's been wrestling everywhere too, but you really still didn't know him. Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. You had just a plethora.
Nick Saban.
Plethora.
Doggone. Alex
Bobby
Shelley.
Roode.
Dang.
James Storm. Like the list go on and on.
Yeah. They had a who's who.
Yeah. But you had these you had these young stars, man. And it was great to see them because when I first saw these guys, I'm like, ooh, new people, new stars. I want to learn more about them, and especially when they were doing the X division, I wanted to learn way more about them, just more and more and more and more and more. Yes, I saw Jeff Jarrett there with Gail Kim. You remember she went there, and it was a part of America Most Wanted with Jeff. You remember Jeff Jarrett's group? It was like him, James Storm and his partner. You had Gail Kim there. Rhino was there. So it's like, yes, they had the legends, but they also had cool young stars too. The Alpha Male.
Oh. The creator of the Pounce from the Serengeti. Oh.
Well, yeah. So you had your younger stars too. So they were responsible for that. So my pro that they had young unknown stars, and then you would know these stars to go on to do today. Kazarian, these kind of people. So there you go. That's my pro. And you got the last con, sir.
My last con is they were very sporadic when it came to trying to find, like, what are we doing? Because Total Nonstop Action, all right? They were hell-bent on making it Total Nonstop Action. You had, the first night, you had wrestling going on. You had girls dancing in cages like an old 80s rock video. You had angles that would kind of like start and stop. And like when he was talking about relying on the legends, you had people that would fall in storylines and fall out of storylines. Like y'all think y'all got mad at the final boss doing the stuff he was doing over the past couple of years. Like imagine that, man, imagine that at this time. Like they were really trying to figure out, and you know I give them grace because they were new and they were trying to get it going. But there was a lot of start and stop. There was a lot of pushes that would stop. People would fall in, fall out. And it kind of sort of like AEW, a lot of these people would still be taking indie dates. So they would take an indie date and get injured and ruin a whole angle. Yeah. So now you can't bring them back on TV. So I just think TNA early on just really didn't have an identity. I really didn't have a direction as to what they wanted to do. But they did land on a good one with the X Division. Yeah. Because the X Division was a must-see. Yeah. Ultimate X was a must-see.
And also when Angle came, they started building a good world title picture. Instead of Jeff Jarrett versus whoever, you started having Kurt Angle come in, and then Sting, and then you started having a good world title picture too. Mm-hmm. So that ultimately helped too. But yeah, you could tell. I mean, because Russo was writing the show. Yeah. So yeah, girls fighting in the cage. I mean, dancing in the cage. Yeah, it was just all over the place. But I'm not gonna lie. As when I was younger, I thought they looked cool. But as an adult now, I'm like, damn, it was all over the place.
But y'all was just doing stuff. Yeah, I was just doing stuff. I get the whole Nitro Grill situation. Like, they was trying to make it like cheerleaders doing during like a halftime show or whatever. But
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah. But, ladies and gentlemen, that was our pros and cons of TNA Wrestling before Bischoff and Hogan. All right? I can't stress that enough. Before Bischoff and Hogan. So 02, yeah, 02, I want to say 02, 03 to about 2009. So, we appreciate y'all watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you like. Let us know if you have another pro or another con. We would like to hear it, all right? Like I said, we appreciate the love. And again, thank you. As always, I am CL Cool.
I'm your boy Jace.
We out. Bye.